Hello, this is Yarrow. I am a co-founder of the InboxDone service, and you may also know me from my blog and podcast. And I'm excited today to be speaking to Kathy from Discussing Dissociation. I hope I got that right. And Kathy is one of the people who currently makes use of the InboxDone service. So we wanted to grab Kathy and talk a little bit about what her life with email used to look like and what her life with email looks like today. So Kathy, thank you for briefly talking to me.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's made a big difference already. I'll tell you that right off the top of the conversation.
Well, I'd love to hear about that. But first of all, just so people know, what exactly is your business? What do you do?
I am a clinical social worker, and so my blog is a mental health blog. And I've had a blog for 9 years, and it's big. And I work very specifically with people with dissociative disorders or dissociative identity disorder, more specifically, which people mostly know about as multiple personality disorder. So it's a section of the population who's had a very severe child abuse history, and so there's a lot of tenderness in terms of childhood trauma, or even sometimes ongoing trauma, and issues are all around, depression, anxiety, self-injury, all that stuff.
Right, yeah. So it's a very sensitive topic.
Yes.
I'm guessing because I know because I've known you for a while, that you built a blog that gets a bit of attention, that would have resulted in a lot of emails. I'm guessing you probably got a lot of emails from people actually expressing a lot of personal stuff to you because of the nature of your work. So what was email like for you?
Well, I've had a few different ways, because once I worked with a person that helped develop the blog. We put a few different contact forms on the blog itself, and so they can contact me directly through the blog, which comes in as an email. And there's several different other pages and things where they can contact the blog directly through email. But also then there's services and stuff that they can buy and purchases. You get emails from that too. And then on top of that, I have a lot of comments. I have almost 7,500 comments to date. And so, and every one of those comes through as an email as well. And then that's my readers will sometimes eventually build a relationship with me that way. And they'll send in a comment through the blog that I have to email back to them. And anyway, it just grows. It grows. So
that's already a lot of email, right? And we haven't even mentioned you're probably getting things like newsletters, notifications from software that you use with your business. Anything else?
Well, all of those, and then the junk mail that I don't even know how I got. Some of those, and then of course I get personal email, because as much as you try to have personal email accounts, flipping back and forth doesn't always work very well. So you end up getting a note from your mom in the middle of your workday, and so you just write her back really quick, things like that. So I've got chunks of family email, and then sometimes there's just things that I want to remember. I have clients too. So even my individual clients, I'll have all the emails from my clients as well. So even from the blog itself, just generic people I don't know, but then once I actually get to know people, I have bunches of stuff that come from
paying customers sending you emails in amongst all the other content as well.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm guessing those emails are kind of important, right? Because they're your customers.
Yes, those ones I don't want to miss.
Right.
And to be honest with you, there was a time when I missed some requests for phone I do phone consultations, and there's been a few times where people had sent in an email, even through my form on my blog, where I should have seen it right up front, but I was overloaded enough with my email that I've missed it. And then,
whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it took me so long, it's like, oh, I don't even dare contact them now. So yeah, I've certainly absolutely missed business.
Right. So you could potentially lose a customer because you don't reply to their email, or you could potentially not get a new customer because you don't realize in amongst all those blog comments, potentially family emails, notification messages, there could be someone saying, "Hey, I want to buy your stuff," but you haven't been able to figure out, where they are. So can you maybe go back in time for 2 or 3 months ago before you started working with us at InboxDone? How did you manage your email? Did you kind of wake up in the morning and do it, or at night, or randomly? What was your process?
Oh, it depended on the day and how I felt because I didn't have my email organized that well in my actual inbox. I had a whole stream of folders on the side. Probably about 100 email folders on the side.
Wow.
But then I still had about 15,000 emails in my inbox itself.
15,000? Okay.
1,500, sorry.
Okay.
15.
Still.
1,000, yeah. 1,500, 600, yeah. In the inbox, like just the inbox, the very top one. And then, of course, in Gmail, there's the tabs, and there's the social tab, and then there's the promotions tab. And I had thousands in those other tabs as well. And so when I would get up in the morning, I mean, it was an automatic overwhelm. I mean, automatic. I mean, who do I write back to? Which one do I write back to? Do I take all day long? Oh, wait, I didn't even tell you. With my newsletters from the blog and my email autoresponder, people will write back to me when I send them a newsletter. Right. And so I have a whole list of email that comes in even from those clients. And it'll sometimes be people that can't figure out how to sign up for the blog, or they can't figure out how to sign up for the ebook, or they can't get their free thing, and this isn't working here, and that's not working there, and are they actually on the list because they can't remember? There's all these questions. So do you start your day answering all these questions? These are normal customer service questions that your business people, that your clients, your potential clients need answers. I mean, if I ignore them, then I've irritated somebody, and they're going to just say, well, fine, she didn't even pay any attention to me and I need help. So then they go off. Or do I spend all day going, have you clicked right? Do you have a PDF viewer on your phone? Here's an extra link here. I mean, I could spend day after day after day answering those questions, or yes, I can confirm you're on the email list, or no, I haven't done this. Some days I would get up and I would spend the entire morning answering emails, just answering emails, and this and that and this and that and that. And so then, but by the end of the day, even by lunchtime, you're exhausted because that's and then I don't want to, or maybe then I have to take my phone calls, or then I have to do, my shopping, whatever. But it ends up taking so much of your time. And I would be working on emails every time I sat down at the computer from morning till night. So even sometimes in the evening, if I can get 1 or 2 of them out, or 2 or 3. So it was just a nonstop.
Right.
And nonstop. And sometimes I would just go, well, fine, I'm too tired today. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah. Which is probably a common situation for a lot of sort of entrepreneurs or consultants, freelancers. Because I know I was in that boat too back when I was the only person who did email. You really, it's unfortunate, but it's one of those things that you never actually can solve by yourself because there's always more email coming in. So it's a stress point that never stops being a stress point, which is kind of horrible when you think about it. But I'm guessing you spend a lot
the more you get.
Right.
The more you, and then the more they come in, the success of a client, then you get more. All of a sudden, that means you get more email every week.
Yeah, it's almost like a catch-22. Like you're working hard to grow a business, which gives you more emails, and that creates more stress. But then you want to succeed, so you get more emails, and then it's like, yeah.
Right.
And I think it's fair to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but you knew this was a problem in your business. So I'm kind of curious, why did it take so long for you to actually decide to get someone to help you with your email?
I tried a few things a few months, probably a good 6 months before InboxDone started. I had looked at hiring someone in my local area and had found somebody and went through the whole process. And then there ended up being some complications just in my local area. I was going to have to, I'm coming from Australia at this point, and there was some tax things and some fee structures. And then it just got real complicated, and I had thought I was going to be able to qualify for a grant at some point, and so I had tried that process. And then the person I picked out in that process, things happened on their end, and all of a sudden they couldn't do that anymore. And so I went through like 2 or 3 people where I thought I was going to work, and it didn't work. And I thought, and I had gotten to where I was like going, okay, I'm going to have to hire someone from Upwork or something. I don't know who, some stranger. And see, meanwhile, I have this sensitive material because I work with mental health. Then I have clients that I need to know have confidentiality. I can't just hire anybody. So that I just couldn't resort to hiring a stranger. It just didn't, because of the confidentiality issue. I couldn't do it.
Right.
So and I just couldn't find the right person because the two or three that I thought was going to work didn't work. Oh, and I started the other thing I brought on an email consultant. I thought, well, maybe people will come in and will purchase an email. And then instead of sending me all these emails for free asking for help, maybe they'll just go in there and do that. And so I started that, and that helped only a tiniest little bit, but not really, because the people that, it didn't help with the basic customer service stuff at all. So
now you're talking about trust, because obviously, like you said, it's a huge issue with your business.
Yes.
I am kind of curious. So with InboxDone, when you came on board with us, what made the difference to work with something or like a service like us, especially with your sensitive materials?
Well, because I've obviously trusted you with. You as Yarrow, I've known you for a while, and you know a lot of personal details about me already. And I had built enough trust in you that I figured if you knew what you were doing, if I would just follow what you did, it would work. And if you had vetted somebody enough to know that they were trustworthy for your business, then I would assume they were trustworthy enough for mine, because you've done a lot more hiring than me, and it's just not something I'm familiar with. And I figured if someone passed your steps, then they would be qualified and good, and they knew what they were doing.
Right. So take us through what happened. So you started working with InboxDone, and what was the first steps in the transformation that happened with your email?
I think one of the first things we did is, can I say that I work with Claire?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. One of the first things we did was we did a Skype screen share, which was really cool because already I learned something new, because I didn't know you could do that on Skype. So she showed me that. And then we signed into my email, and she got her first look at my email, and her first words were, "Oh my." And I'll never forget that. Oh, poor Claire. Because I already knew she was going to be doing that, so I'd already been trying to delete things already, so I'd already gotten the numbers down, but it was, she was still, oh. So we went through my email the first time, and I just talked to her about all the different kinds of emails I get. And, we, like, this is this stuff, and this is this stuff, and this is, she first listened to how I had it organized, because it was my effort of organization. And we spent probably an hour and a half probably that first day. I'm not quite sure, but quite some time. And she would ask me all kinds of questions about, what did I do with this, and how did that work, and who was this, and just all kinds of questions, getting a good sense of things. And then I think we just started with her. That's right. We started with her organizing it, because it was just too. She had ideas for how to condense and make it more workable. And so that's just the first, I don't even know, the first week or two, she just spent time making folders. And I didn't know how to make the rules, so that a previous email I'd had, where it gets sent in and then it goes automatically
a filter
to the folder. I didn't know how to do that. Yeah, I didn't know how to do that. So she said that saved a lot of time, because things that were in the inbox could just get folded, filed into where they should have been, because I just didn't. Oh boy. That's one of I had to help condense things into categories. So we took my 100 individual things and then I put them into, it just slowly would work down to maybe have, I don't know, like maybe 10 main categories now. And then we've got folders inside of that. And now we've figured out how to do folders inside of that. And so now it's all fancy, you know. So I can find things, and everything goes into its place, and slowly she makes that rule where it automatically goes into stuff.
Okay.
So
and did you
and even just,
I'm assuming slowly but surely you also had Claire get rid of all the email in your inbox, those 1,500 messages, and
we did. It took a while because we figured out which things were mine, because some of the stuff I needed to do, like stuff with my clients, that still is going to belong to me. Just the nature of my business, that they had to be mine.
Right.
So we made an area that was mine just for me, and then she made an area that was hers, and then she a lot of the stuff that was in the inbox that she was going to deal with, she put it into her folder, so that the actual, it took a little bit of time. It took probably a couple of weeks to get at least it filtered down so that the inbox was empty. And then she set up a new system for stars, like for what I needed to attend to that came in. And so that because I had a whole different system for that than what she was using, but I like hers better, or just as well. Actually better. So we had to figure that out, because what did I need to attend to that was mine in terms of my business for me, that was my stuff, and then what did she attend to? So it took a lot of dividing, I guess is the best way to do that. It was probably a good month.
How do you feel about the process now in terms of following up with potential customers, and that feeling of you might be missing out on the most important emails?
Well, I'm not missing out on them anymore. That I know for sure. I know for sure, because we've got all the main categories in place, and all the little things, they're important, but they're piddly. Like, how do I do this? How do I do that? All the little, she's got that all covered. And sometimes I go messages. Yes. Sometimes I go look and see what she's done. Sometimes I don't even care, because I know half the time what the kind of stuff it is. But the important ones all go to a certain folder and go to an area, and so they're right there at the top of the page all the time now. Or they've got the star on them, so I know where to go to look. And so it's just 100% more organized. I mean, 1,000% more organized. And so I can find things, and I can go right to what I need to go to, where I couldn't do that before.
Now, how do you feel in terms of how much time you've gained, in the sense that you don't have to spend hours in your inbox anymore?
Just the weight off my shoulders is amazing, because I knew I wasn't giving good customer service. I mean, I knew it, and it drove me nuts, because that's not how you run a business, and that's not how I would want to be treated. My trauma survivors have been ignored or abandoned and neglected all their life, and I knew that by them not getting emails, it was horrible. And so the idea that now I knew that every single person that wrote in was going to get a response, just even the emotion, that sort of thing was a huge distinction for me. It's given us. Can you still see me?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'm getting a poor network connection thing. Okay, sorry, you have to edit that part out.
Keep going.
But when you work with a field and you know that the people are injured, I just didn't want to add more insult to the injury, and I knew that's what I was doing. I could only get to so many of them a day. And yet it was wearing me out. I mean, I was exhausted. I could maybe do my email and my clients, but I couldn't get to my products, or I mean the other things I was trying to do. I would be constantly interrupted. It was really hard to get the management going. But now, because I know that whole piece is gone to Claire, I can plan my day. Like, it's just different. Like, I can actually, because I didn't know before what was going to show up, what was I going to wake up to. And even now, I still get unexpected things, like, people will order a consultation unexpectedly, because I don't know when they're coming. But at least I don't also have to attend to the 5 or 10 other questions that could have taken all day long to do.
Right.
I don't know. It's huge. It's hugely different. I can't even use the right words. I've been able to focus my energy on my own stuff and my own products and my own writing. I've gotten more blogs done. I've gotten more my own stuff of, you know, the things I've been trying to create for months of time
So
are actually getting done.
it sounds like you've gained maybe 2 or 3 hours a day in time you didn't have before.
Oh, at least that, but it's more than that, because it's the emotional weight is lifted from me too, because sometimes when you're feeling overwhelmed, you almost can't even be productive, even when you're sitting there. You're like, you know, you're still, you know, you're feeling the weight of the world, and so you're not as creative and you're not as fast as you could be when you know you can just sit down and do it.
I understand.
So I think I've gained more than that. I mean, it feels like I've gained. I don't know, like
freedom.
Like this whole other person that's just taking this whole an entire job off my back. That's what it feels like. It's an entire big giant box.
And that's the point, right?
Because it's
trying to give you essentially almost like it may be your first employee or your first person who you can really delegate to and take something off your shoulders. Now, as you know very well, it's not I guess you'd call a low price service. We're not talking like $100 virtual assistant here. You're spending like $1,000 a month. So it is a significant commitment. It's a significant person who's really becomes part of your team. Simple question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worthwhile? Do you feel the value, you know, is there given what you benefit from versus what you're paying?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely, because I don't know how many hours Claire spends per week, but what it does to me, I mean, it's just like, okay, I got to make sure I have that bill is right at the top of my list, like because it's worth it to me as a person. I mean, I've done this business. Let me just scoop back. I've been a clinical social worker with the field of trauma for 30 years. And I've been in private practice since 1992, and since 1995, I've had my own office, and this is the first time in all those years that I have had my own, basically a receptionist or somebody at the front door.
Right.
You know, all this time I've done all these hats all by myself. And I knew in the past, I mean, it just tanked my business. I couldn't carry the load. I mean, I just fell down. I mean, I just fell down. And so, I mean, I knew a few months ago that if I didn't get some help, I wasn't going to be able to do it again this time either, because
right.
it was not any different. So it's hugely important for my sanity. Like, I can't do this work without a tech person, because I can't do tech for squat, and without someone at this point in time. I mean, I knew that it was too big for me to handle the customer inbox as well. It was just too big.
So $1,000 a month is well worth it.
All right, it's well worth it. Absolutely.
Okay.
I could not fathom going. I don't even like the days she takes a day off. Of course, she's allowed to take a day off, you know. But I mean, I can feel the difference. Yeah. I can feel the difference when it's not her work day. I was like, oh my goodness, do I need to write back to that? I mean, the pressure is immediately there. So I mean, it's just like no, she'll get to it tomorrow. You know, don't worry about it. And it's.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you.
It's a brand.
I haven't done my email in 12 years, so I can't imagine, like, it'd be a nightmare to go back to doing it. So I'm welcoming you to the club of no longer having to do your email, and hopefully you'll never have to do it again. One more question for you, Kathy, before we wrap up the video.
No.
For the people who are watching and hearing you talk about this, I think you made it clear that it's emotionally a stress reliever. It's also, from a business standpoint, something that can easily pay for itself, because suddenly you've got time to create products, you've got time to actually deal with customers, and the person who does your email can actually bring in new customers, because finally they're following up with potential customers. So for the person listening in, when or who do you think is the right type of person to make this leap? Because obviously you had to get to the point where you were ready to do this. So when is the right time to hire an InboxDone email assistant?
When you know you're overloaded, and I mean, I knew if I didn't get help, I was going to be done. So when you know, it's your business depends on it. Like you know, there's no doubt. Like you can't go forward without the help. So that's kind of the last. You don't have to wait to that last minute. I sort of did just because couldn't find, but it's because it took me 6 months to find the right person. And it wasn't that I wasn't trying, or even longer than that. I think 8 months probably. But if you really actually want to grow your business, you've got to do this. You've got to take that step, and it's got to be a leap of faith. You got to know at first it's not necessarily going to pay for itself the first month, except it does in other ways, like it does in the stress relief. It does in the time you get. I am getting products out the door. I have been able to attend to other problems, for example, that have happened, or other issues and other consultations that have come in. I've been able to just do that, and then I can have my evenings. I can relax. I'm not losing my own. I'm not falling into my own stress.
Right.
So I don't even someone who wants to grow their business, and if they're busy. And if you want to give good customer service, if customer service doesn't matter to you, then don't bother. But I mean, I think customer service is really, really, really important. And I like to give personal touches. I mean, personal interaction with my people. So
awesome.
I mean,
sounds like a no-brainer to me.
Would?
Right.
I mean, it's not a luxury at this point. It becomes an absolute necessity. I think it could have been a luxury earlier, but at this point in time, it's not even a luxury. It's like, you know, you can't go to a store and have an entire store run by one person. It's got to have more than one employee, and that's when your business gets big enough. If you're going to keep it growing, you have to have more than one employee. Fantastic.
That's a great point to end on. So, Kathy, thank you for sharing a bit of your story with your email, and I appreciate you being one of our early customers, and I'm so glad that it's worked out well, and we've actually made an impact on your life, your business, but more importantly, it sounds like we've helped your well-being as well, which is really very satisfying. So great to hear that.
Absolutely. I was gonna fall into a heap otherwise. So
awesome.
No, it's made a huge difference.
Okay.
And I don't have my 50. I probably did have 15,000 in there, but I have deleted. I'll tell you this. The other thing, we've gone through and deleting junk mail. I probably deleted 4,000 or 5,000 emails over the course of time too. So it also is cleaning that space as well.
Right.
So
yes, it is a cleansing process.
Yes, helps the mindset a lot. Okay. That mindset that you need to be, I need things clean and clear and uncluttered to do my work. And it helps with that a lot.
Okay. So you recommend InboxDone then?
Absolutely. 100%. Just don't keep Claire too busy, because I want to have her keeping her busy.
All right.
But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's absolutely.
Fantastic,
100%.
Kathy. All right, we'll end it there. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty. Okay. Thanks. Bye.